Glenn, I know another aspect of Academy membership that's very important is the one-to-one relationship, those sessions that you as a chairman have with your members. Talk to me about that. What's that all about?
Basically, I'll meet with the members every 4 to 6 weeks, one-on-one. It's important that it's off-site, so it's what I call they've got the correct headspace to be able to think clearly and also have the privacy and the confidentiality to speak. Each session is around about 90 minutes long, and the idea is really to go into what's going on for them, particularly at that time. So I might ask with quite an open-ended question about, what's happening for you at the moment, and sort of really unpick what's going on, or could be very specific about, is there anything you would like to particularly cover in our session for today? And what falls out of there, of course, is we do a real session of open questions, observations, and really looking at what's going on for the member with this particular issue or challenge. Often it could be goal related, or indeed around the strategic vision as well. But it's a case of then coming up with a number of different options that they can then choose to take forward. And of course, because we meet regularly, we will of course measure the progress, be able to really again take that learning and share it with the rest of the group where appropriate. But it's something about moving forward and ensuring that we've got the frequency to gather momentum and to take themselves and their business to the next level.
Glenn, one of the things that's very important to the Academy are the guest speakers, the people that are brought in to talk to your members. Tell me what that's about and the importance of that.
Sure, so we work with around about 100 world-class speakers, and these are folks who really are experts in their field. And we cover a whole range of different topics, but broad brushly it's very much around business, around finance and sales and marketing and so forth. Very much around leadership as well, which is a bit more contextual, a bit more of a grey area, and very much around personal development and personal mastery, which is very much about one's own values and indeed visions for themselves as well as for the business. What's important really is that the speakers come in and make it a very interactive session. This is not something where you would just sort of sit back and passively learn. This is very much you roll up your sleeves, get stuck in with the other members as well as the speaker within that session. We have what's called then light bulb moments. It's very much about the new ideas that are coming forth for that, shared learning around that, so what we might each take back into the business and actually take and develop and use, and very much then actually report back what's working and where the learning is ongoing.
Glenn, I'm really interested in the Academy for Chief Executives peer group board sessions. I'd love to know how they work and what members can get from them.
Okay. This is often, we refer to, as indeed the members do, as the board you'd love to afford. And what we mean by that is actually the 10 or 12 non-competing leaders around the table have really got a real vast wealth of experience and knowledge that they can share openly in that confidential environment. So what we'll do is generally every month we'll ask each and every member what's going on for them. Is there a particular issue, an opportunity or a challenge that they'd like to share with the rest of the group? And then we'll use a number of techniques to actually get to the nub of that particular issue or opportunity. Ask a lot of open questions actually. That's one of the key things that we'll do at the Academy, and that's to ensure that the individual really gets an understanding, as indeed the rest of the group, of where the issue may be or the opportunity may be. And then we'll move into a more directive mentoring mode as a group to actually say, well, if I was in your shoes, I would. So then they can actually share some great new ideas, some experiences to really help that particular leader move ahead and decide what options to go ahead with next.
And do you find that the person who's in the hot seat, as it were, who's bringing up the issue, are they relaxed enough to kind of share openly, and in turn does the advice flow back openly, do you think? I mean, in other words, is it an environment of sort of openness and trust?
Absolutely, and I think that's part of my role as a chairman for that group, is to create that safe environment. And I guess each chairman can put their own influence into that group, but I'd say essentially it's very much about absolutely building trust. reminding everybody that we're here to grow and learn and stretch each other, but also have a bit of fun along the way as well, because you know, I'm a big believer where there's a bit of laughter, there's learning as well. So it's a way to create an environment that's relaxed but also highly confidential and thus open and trust.
Glenn, I'd love to hear a bit more about the peer group board sessions you run at the Academy, what they are and what the members can get from them.
Yeah, we often refer to those as the board you'd love to afford, and that's because of the wealth of experience and knowledge and ideas sat around the table. We have around about 10 to 12 non-competing leaders at each of these meetings, and essentially this is where we would invite everybody there to share what's going on for them in terms of their issues, opportunities, challenges, and then we will work through using a number of different techniques as I as chairman will facilitate to ensure that we really get to the nub of what's going on, but also more importantly then come up with a number of different ideas and solutions to be able to have the right option or options to move forward. The key really being about sharing in that open environment, being as vulnerable and as open as you want, and also then being able to commit to what's resonating and take the ideas back into the business.